Well, hey there, East Main Baptist Church. As always, thank you for joining me for another real short talk with Ryan. Today, we're going to be looking at Psalm chapter 9. As always, if you've got your Bible, I encourage you to get it and turn there after this video is over. Maybe at some later point in your day, go read Psalm 9 for yourself. But as I was reading Psalm 9, I couldn't help but think about sports contracts. And I know that seems really weird and really random, and maybe it is, but I'm kind of weird and kind of random. But bear with me, because I think we'll see how this all connects. So I was thinking about sports contracts, and so often a guy gets this big contract based on past performance, right? Maybe he hit a lot of home runs, and so they give him the big contract. Or he won a lot of games at one school as a head coach, so he gets the new job at the new school. He gets this big contract to be the head coach. But what do we see so often? Well, it doesn't work out, and then you end up being like Texas A&M, and you have to pay this big buyout for your coach because he didn't deliver like you thought that he was going to deliver. And I think the question becomes, will he continue to show up, right? That's the kind of the bet that you're making as you give somebody this big contract. Will he continue to show up? And I think a lot of times we ask ourselves the same question about God. Will he continue to show up? And I think that's what David is asking in Psalm 9. Right? He says, I will give thanks to the Lord with my whole heart. I will recount all of your wonderful deeds. I will be glad and exult in you. I will sing praise to your name, O Most High. So he's saying, hey, Lord, I'm going to look at your past performance. I'm going to look at all of the great things that you have done in my life. And that's really what he does throughout the rest of Psalm 9. He recounts the Lord's wonderful deeds, how the Lord has been there for him, how he's protected him, delivered him from his enemies, how he has been a shelter in times of trouble. And he says, Lord, I have seen all of the great things that you have done, and I'm going through this hard time now, so I have to ask myself, Lord, will you continue to show up? And the answer is resoundingly yes. The Lord's not like that head coach that gets the big contract and he's like, well, I'm getting paid. It doesn't really matter how I perform. No, the Lord continues to show up. We can anticipate what the Lord is going to do by looking at what he has already done. See what David says in Psalm 9, verse 18. He says, for the needy shall not always be forgotten, and the hope of the poor shall not perish forever. He says, hey, things are not looking good for you right now. Hey, things are hard right now. Hey, you don't have the hope that you need. Things seem bleak, but he says you do have the hope that you need. You have the Lord. You can look and see how the Lord has continued to work in your life, how he has gotten you to this moment, and you can be confident based on who God is that he will continue to provide for you. He will continue to come through. It may not always be on your timing. It may not always be on your schedule. It may not always look exactly how you want it to look, but we can be confident that the Lord will continue to show up. The Lord doesn't rest on his laurels and say, well, I've done enough now. Now it's on you. No, he continues to be there for us. He continues to provide. He continues to protect us. See how David ends. He says, arise, O Lord, let not man prevail. Let the nations be judged before you. Lord, deliver me from my enemies. Lord, continue to show up. Continue to show the world. Continue to show me who you are. Put them in fear, O Lord. Let the nations know they are but men. David was surrounded by enemies. He says, hey, Lord, let my enemies know that you are still the Lord and they are just men. And I think we can say the same thing. Lord, let my problems know that they are just problems. They are just earthly things, and you are still the Lord, and you are still going to show up. Rest in that today. The Lord will continue to show up. Hey, thanks for joining me today. I hope this message has encouraged you. If it has, consider sharing it so somebody else can hear it as well. Until I see you next time, glorify his name.